Okay, so welcome to our special video regarding how to navigate in your life if you have the worst chart. Because a very interesting question was asked by Megha. Hi, this question may be a personal one. You mentioned you have the worst chart than any other in several of your earlier videos. True. Very, very true. How did you utilize your chart in relation to recognizing where the strength lies and steps you need to take to achieve what you have? So then I replied to this person that, okay, instead of me talking about myself, why don't you give me your birth details and we'll look at your chart. Okay. So we are going to look at Megha's chart and I'm going to show you how to navigate. Okay.
Recording in progress.
How to navigate through your chart, meaning everybody can watch this, everybody can understand what I'm looking at. Okay, so this is her chart. This is Megha's chart. Okay. So we'll put this up there. So right away, we see that she's a Cancer ascendant. Okay. She's right now 26 years old. Right? She's running her 27th year. So first of all, I know I'm supposed to teach you guys things, but right away I know. 32nd year onwards, between 28 and 32. Okay? Between 28 and 32, this person's life is going to be going through a major shift and transformation. And especially between 32 and 34 is where the aeroplane begins to take off for this person. Okay, so if you have taken my blank chart prediction for Cancer ascendant, you should know Gemini and Cancer both. Okay. However, one thing I clearly see, I don't know if you are. So again, I'm going to show you the navigation through a chart. Okay. Now, first of all, I'm sorry, but this is not the worst horoscope. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Okay. Because you must be thinking Saturn is in the 10th house debilitated. But Saturn is not really debilitated. First of all, Saturn is being aspected by its Lord Mars. Okay. Saturn goes into the sign of Taurus right there in the Navamsha. So now put that same Saturn back in the birth chart. It will be in the 11th house. And I believe this person, oh, that's the Vimshotri Dasha. Okay, so they're going to start their Moon Dasha from 2026. Moon is in the second house in Leo, trine from Saturn. Moon has a higher degree than Saturn. Okay. And in the Navamsha chart, Moon is in Cancer, in the ascendant. So put the same Moon back, it's in the ascendant. And remember, the Lagnesh, the ascendant Lord Dasha, it's always the most beneficial. And apparently in your case, Moon is in quite a benefic position. It's in a regal sign. It's a regal planet. Sun and Moon are regal planets. Okay, so it's in a regal sign. And it's in the 11th house in Navamsha. So once your Moon Dasha starts, one thing I'm going to advise you, because none of your planets are retrograde, your job and work should allow you to travel. Because obviously in your particular chart, one thing I will say, you don't have the combinations to do business. You have the combinations to do a job, number one. And yes, if you see, third Lord is approaching Sun and Ketu, so I know your marriage is going to be late. Why? Because third house becomes very important for marriage. More than anything else. Why? Because third house is the bhagya of the 7th house. You have to have some luck, right? Some fortune towards attaining something. So because the third Lord is in the 7th, approaching Sun and then Ketu, okay, so and aspected by two malefics, so it delays the significance of marriage. Now, one thing to know about a Cancer ascendant chart, Cancer ascendant person, for them, establishment of family becomes very, very important, which is what? marriage. Marriage for Cancer ascendant becomes very important because naturally Cancer is the original fourth house, becoming the ascendant. So karma awakening happens through family. Then the sign of marriage, which is Libra, goes into the fourth house, which is fourth from the ascendant, the happiness of the person. Happiness, comfort is controlled by Libra, which is marriage. Then look at the fact that where is the sign of Capricorn, which is the 10th house of career, establishment of your profession in society. It's in the 7th house of marriage. And this is why marriage becomes very important for a Cancer ascendant people along with other ascendants as well. Like there's naturally a change in a person's life when this happens. But when I see the relationship, okay, especially in the Navamsha of Jupiter and Mars, okay, obviously marriage is going to happen. But one thing I'll tell you, which is very, very important, because this is something right away when you open up a chart. Rahu, Ketu are in a 1-7 axis. Please, for God's sake, don't be in India. You must leave. If you want, right? So if you think you have the worst chart, because you may feel like you're a vagabond, nothing is working out. You're hitting blocks, you're hitting walls, because Sun is moving towards Ketu. Okay? But one thing I'll tell you, this is also a Kirti Dhabaj Yoga, but this activates for you in foreign lands. The other thing, you have a malefic planet in the 4th house. So naturally shows one can go to foreign lands. On the other hand, the second lord is with malefic, aspected by malefic. So that means you can go to foreign lands. So how do you go to foreign lands? Not just Rahu Ketu is a 1-7 axis. Is a first of all a clear indication that you want your life to improve. Go at least 1,000 miles away from where you are, whether it's a foreign country or whether it's your own country. Okay, but because Moon Dasha is starting, who's the Lagnesh, who's the ascendant lord, and it's in Cancer Navamsha, that means it's going to be with Rahu. So flourishment of your body, your entire karmic consciousness is going to take place from a foreign place, foreign lands. And in Moon Dasha, the more you travel, the more it's going to energize your Saturn, because Saturn is approaching Moon. Saturn is saying, I'm going to need a profession where things change very quickly, where you're traveling. Like, for example, there's an IT professional, right? Because it does show you would have a technical education. IT professional sitting and doing some project for some company for like about a month and a half. Just, working away on that. However, because regardless of even the Dasha, Saturn is with Moon, it'll never make you feel happy if you have to do that one thing for a whole month. What you should do is something like, let's say what I'm doing, right? Let's say I am doing your consultation. You got a consultation from me, I'm giving you a consultation. Okay, great. You got a career consultation, done. Now next is going to be a marriage. Then after that is going to be, let's say, nakshatra reading. Complete change of consciousness that happens. Then I'm making like a video here. Then I'm making some course for my school. Okay. Or let's say then I'm doing, let's say, the mantra reading that I opened up to give you guys a certain mantra that is going to be the most beneficial for your chart, which is, I believe, option 20 on karasastrology.com. Okay, it'll be a quick mantra that I will give you. Okay. But so you need that. You can't have stagnant work. Stagnant work is going to make you feel like you have a worst horoscope. So you see how I'm helping you align. The first thing we see that helping you align. So it's not about, well, you got this, you got this dosha. No, forget about the dosha. I'm going by the question you asked. How did you navigate through your life? But again, certain processes are natural. I can't really say if there was something I tried to do or I naturally fell into it. You see, so you actually naturally fall into it. But because you're a Cancer ascendant, I see that 28th year onwards, life starts. But it needs to be in a foreign place. And one of the best places for you will be Dubai. Why Dubai? Because moon is in Cancer, in Magha Nakshatra. Middle East is connected with Leo. Magha is naturally the kingdom. So Saudi Arabia, Middle East, Oman, okay. So these places, even UK, they're dealing with kings and queens and kingdoms. So if you can go there, this is where things are going to light up unless you're already there. Okay. Now, you were also saying something which was very interesting. Let me go back to your screenshot. Yeah, you said, how did you utilize your chart in relation to recognizing where the strength is? So now look at the keyword, strength. And yes, you know I do BNN. I do Nadi astrology, but still, I've always said this, even in my last video. For me, once you know everything from Jaimini to Nadi to Parashri, you naturally mix everything in. Your brain automatically goes there. Why? Because it's not like Nadi's going to say you're going to get married this year and then Parashri saying this, get married this year, KP saying this. No, they all will come to that same conclusion. So it doesn't matter how you lose. So now once you set the strength, I'm going to go towards your divisional chart, known as the D27 Saptavamsa chart. Saptavamsa is a chart connected with your strengths and weaknesses. So here we analyze that, okay, what planet is becoming very powerful? Okay, and once we look at your particular chart, we see that Jupiter, who's in the 10th house, okay, becomes naturally very powerful. Okay, Jupiter becomes powerful because Jupiter also has Sun in its sign of Sagittarius. So Ati Mitra, so there's a concept of Mitra, Ati Mitra, or especially when there's enmity and friendly signs and enemy signs. So now because the Ati Mitra is in the sign of Sagittarius, it clearly shows that Jupiter is receiving the highest strength, which means you know what your strength is? Management and organization. Your strength is in teaching, consulting, counseling, advising. That's where your strength is. Now, let's look at the second strength. What is the second strength we see? Saturn is in Cancer, Moon is in Capricorn. That means there's also this Parivartan Yoga that is happening. Where Moon is behaving like it's in Cancer, Saturn is behaving like it's in Capricorn. So one of your other strength is to nourish other people, take care of other people. You have the ability to take care of an organization like a human resource. Somebody who has the strength related to fighting for other people's rights, fighting for the public. And this is, the strength is when you're in public, when you're in the public eye. This is where you're able to actually do the right thing, right? Let's say you're doing bad things in the back. I'm not saying you do, but I'm giving an example. You're doing some bad things in the back, but suddenly the spotlight is on you, the camera's on you. You're gonna be like, okay, I need to do something good because I want the people to have the right image of me. And Saturn Moon connection naturally shows a connection of a public figure. Okay. So these things become your strength, your administrative duties, your management duties. Because 10th house is the most visible house. This is why I went straight to, before even Parivartan Yoga, I went straight to Jupiter. Because Jupiter is the most visible planet out there, with the actual king sitting in the sign of Sagittarius. So you're a solution provider. You know how to come up with solutions. You know how to manage things. You know how to negotiate things, especially because Venus and Ketu are trine from Jupiter. One has the talent of researching. Okay. Now, we also see weaknesses, but this is something I would say more in a private setting. I don't want to say weaknesses here with your chart. There are certain principles, right? So that's something that I see. Then, if you look at, where's that other chart? Okay, let me just get it here. I can just put that here. Panchamansa chart. What is this D5 chart that we're looking at? This is a chart that shows your name and fame. Okay? Name and fame. And what is the most powerful thing that I noticed here? That's why I'm actually showing this chart. Because I want to help you navigate your life. Not to show something that is going to be negative or weakness and the public is seeing. I'm showing the strength. The Lagna Lord, the ascendant Lord of which is Mercury, is in the 7th house looking at the ascendant. Which means that the person will be able to attain their fame, name, recognition through their ability to learn things, dealing with data, dealing with information, communication, research. Why? Because naturally Ketu is trine from Mercury. So let's say you're in like data science, data mining. Yes, that gives you that recognition. But if let's say you were to go into a public forum to wanting to get recognition, then this Mercury will help you. Doesn't matter if 10th Lord is debilitated. The Lord is looking at the Lagna, the most important point of this D5 chart. So it is going to be protecting. It's going to protect your image into the world. Then, who else is looking at the ascendant? Jupiter is looking at the ascendant. And dispositor of Mercury is in the 9th house. So it's not a weak. See, again, you can't just go straight to debilitation and exaltation. Because first of all, if you look, okay, Mercury is with Sun in the sign of Capricorn. And because of the fact it is combust with Sun and Ketu, a person, first of all, gets influenced too quickly with authorities. Whoever is the authority in your life, one gets too influenced early in life. If somebody said you should do this, okay, you will be pressured to do that. But in the particular chart, okay, and actually for this, I'm going to relate to this other chart. So let's look at this other chart. Where is this other chart? Aha. Let's look at the Dreshkan, which is the strength of the planet, the valor of the planets. So first of all, Saturn is Vargottama. Is Saturn weak or strong? Saturn is strong. It's able to find its way. Mars is strong, Vargottama. And if you're looking at Mercury, who's also the Lagna Lord of the D5 chart, okay, and it's in the 11th house with Sun in Taurus, what it shows that Mercury, first of all, and also one thing I want to see with your D2 chart. Where's your D2 chart? See, in D2, you're a Cancer. In birth chart, you're a Cancer, and D2, you're a Cancer. So one thing I see you get emotional very quickly. You will take things to the heart very quickly. Actually, in your life, logic does not make sense. Your intuition, your feelings makes more sense, but Mercury forces you to deal with logic. Forces you to deal with the practicality of your learning, your knowledge, and how to gain from it, because Mercury is in the 11th house in Taurus. Okay, so personality-wise, you're very emotional, and also through your communication, because Cancer is the Lagna. Cancer is also your Hora Lagna. Okay, so especially the Lagna is the same, and especially in Hora, your moon is in Leo, but Jupiter is in the Lagna in the Cancer sign. So of course, what does this show me? Number one, establishment of family and naturally children activates the wealth. And because you're a Cancer and a Cancer, both in Lagna and the Hora, ultimately you will have the flow. Cancer represents the flow and Hora is the wealth. You'll have the cash flow of wealth. But it comes through where? Comes through hard work, because the Lagna Lord of the birth chart is in the sign of Leo in the Hora. So things don't just come like you're just sitting and you sit and then support comes in and say, hey, how much do you want? No. Because the Lagna Lord is in Leo with Mars and Saturn as well. You get it, but you have to work towards it. You have to work towards that. Okay. But especially your moon dasha is going to start. Moon is also in Sagittarius. right? It is going to fifth from itself, and especially moon is in Agastya Rishi. So in Agastya is a very respectful Rishi. Agastya is a very knowledgeable who writes, who gives the wisdom. So in 2024, what does that mean? Again, solution provider. Somebody who will have the knowledge. But because moon goes fifth from the birth chart to the Dreshkan, to the D3 chart, meaning fifth house is the house of learning. The more you learn in your moon dasha, the better it's going to reflect that energy into the 10th house where Saturn is placed. So keep learning. Especially right now, you don't even have to. Let's be practical. Right now, you don't have to, but next year from May onwards, start taking some little bit of course somewhere. Start learning, because that learning is also, because what are you doing? What is learning? You're changing, right? Something is changing in your life. Today, you'll learn chapter 1. Tomorrow's chapter 2. Whatever it is, let's say if it's data mining, it's creating AI agents, you're learning. Learning is going to energize this moon in Dreshkan. So you see how I'm helping you navigate. It's going to help you energize this moon in Dreshkan because it's fifth from itself. Fifth from itself becomes a learning. Ninth, if moon was ninth from itself, then it's just blessings of the past life that actually comes in, depending upon how that moon would be situated. Vargottama is, let's say, Saturn and Mars. That means you are going to have to be responsible for creating your luck. That's how this, so because Dreshkan is the trine. All planets going to trine from themselves. And this is the difference. Okay, but the very first thing that I want to say here, go to foreign lands. You must. That's something you must. Okay? And I see that you're going to meet your significant other through work or through some aunt or uncle on the father's side. Okay, but because Mars and Venus are trying, it's most likely going to be a love marriage. Okay, and especially if you marry somebody who's a chartered accountant or a lawyer, marriage is going to be blessed. Or if the person does research. If they're engineer, that is also going to work, but they should do some research on the side. But again, I don't want to get into that part because then I'll go into more details with the Navamsha. Okay, but navigating through life is like mostly about the profession, right? Now, like I said, with the marriage between 28 and 32, things are going to happen. Life just opens up. And especially 32 to 34, that 2 year of 32 to 34 is when the plane is like on a runway, 28 to 32 is going. And 32, it takes off. And by the time 34, it's up in the air. So again, and I'm going to put Sagittarius either tonight or tomorrow. Okay. But just wanted to show you guys this. Is there anything else I want to discuss? No, this is good. Should be good enough for navigating your life. Okay.
Recording stopped.
Okay. So I can cancel here. So remember, if you need consultation, you can go to karasastrology.com under shop section. You'll see that. And also I'm going to put Sagittarius blank chart prediction by tonight or tomorrow. So we can continue with that series. Otherwise, we'll see you later.